Hey everyone, welcome to the Microsoft 365 Copilot Connection. My name is Nick Harris, and I'm a Senior Copilot Cloud Solution Architect with Microsoft. Today, I want to navigate all of you through how to build new daily work habits in relation to how you approach AI within your daily work. Modern AI tools like Copilot are transforming the way we approach our work every single day. But to fully benefit, we must change the overall habits and behaviors that we exude and continuously challenge ourselves in order to get more out of AI and ensure we don't fall on those old bad habits that we may have leveraged for years and years. And while the AI technologies that we at Microsoft make available to our customers are intuitive, shifting your overall work habits and integrating Copilot into these AI tasks can be very challenging. And so organizations rolling out Copilot find that success really truly hinges on the people that directly work with it, building those new habits and new AI enforced mindsets in order to generate a new AI powered workplace. And so, adopting these habits overall can boost your productivity. It can allow you to reclaim time, and it can even reduce overall mental stress. I love the mental health benefits that Copilot provides me. It allows me to approach my work in a much less stressful way. And so, let's go ahead and navigate through some of these key habit changes that I've seen within my daily work and noted to me by my enterprise customers that have created value and made work more fun overall, which in turn makes me happier with the work that I perform and allows me to focus on the work items that I want to focus on and generate new innovative ideas for my organization. So let's go ahead and talk about the first habit that I recall changing that had an enormous impact within my work. And that's how I approach my work when I come back from vacation or sick leave. It used to be when I would come back from vacation or sick leave, I would navigate into my email and sift through all of my email. I would look at all my Teams chats, all of my channel messages. And then, of course, I have all kinds of new work that's coming to my plate. I have people reaching out to me, more material that I have to work through or research, new updates, all kinds of stuff that I also have to keep up to date with. And so, what I decided to do is test and leverage Copilot to provide me all the informational items I need to focus on while I was away to move forward in my flow of work more quickly. And so, I can directly use the business chat experience as you see on the screen in order to generate task and update lists that I can navigate through in order to get up to speed more quickly. So let's go ahead and submit a quick prompt in order to aggregate the data around us from within the last 1 week. And we'll have Copilot feed all of that information to us so we can get started. Now, general note, I am in a demo environment, so there's not too many activities happening in here actively. However, if you do leverage this prompt within your work, you will have a lot more contextual data provided back to you based on all the activities happening around you that include you. So in this case, summarize my emails, Teams messages, and channel messages from the last 1 week. List action items in a dedicated column. Suggest follow ups if possible in a dedicated column. Provide a link to the email or message in a dedicated column as well, and the table should look like this. It gives me the type of content, the topic, a summary of the information, an action item, and a follow up with the link as well. And so now, as we see here, I have a table output. I only have 2 emails provided back to me, but I do highly recommend you try this out within your work. General note from experience with this, it does allow me to get started faster within my work, but there are occasions where this very generic prompt could miss some content. I do recommend modifying and changing it, adding your context, your topics, work that you are particularly focused on, so that it can give you more insightful output. Usually, if it misses something for me, those individuals that are trying to contact me or need something from me will follow up when I'm back in office as well. But at least this has saved me tons of time. It's taken my process of getting back into the flow of work after vacation or sick leave from 2 or 3 days when I get back down to about 2 to 3 hours. Huge time savings every single time I leave. The second habit that we should focus on is asking Copilot first. And what I mean by that is think about how you navigate uncertainty within your work. It used to be when I had particular questions come in from my customers and they didn't relate to topic matter that I was a subject matter expert on, I would take that question and forward it to my colleague that was an expert in that core area or navigate to them and say, hey, can you handle this? And that just adds more work on their plate. And I really don't want to give them more work because I know they already have a mountain to climb. And so when you navigate to Copilot First, you at least get a first draft style response that you can research and leverage without invoking the time of your human level counterparts. So, a great example of this. It used to be I was a SharePoint expert. I was a SharePoint administrator for many, many years. And I would work with customers and get all kinds of different questions about Microsoft 365. One of those examples is I would get questions on Exchange Online, Outlook, email functionality, and I have no clue how a lot of that works and functions. So instead, what I would do before I would send that work over to my colleagues as Copilot was integrated into my workflow is I would start to copy and paste those questions from my customers about Exchange or Outlook into my direct prompting box. And I would just see what Copilot gave me. Once it gave me a response, I would copy that information if I still wasn't sure and send it over to my colleague for reference. They could say, yes, this is spot on, or no, and make some slight modifications and changes, and then I could directly follow up with the customer myself. Now, think about that for a moment. I'm taking the time efficiency and visibility, and I am becoming a more prominent figure for my customer. I'm now able to answer more information. I'm able to become a subject matter expert in a variety of areas that I was never able to before. And that creates mental health savings for my colleagues as well, because I'm not giving them more work within that mountain of work they already have. Now, to showcase an example of this, here's an example prompt that I've ran in order to address a customer question that came into me. I want you to perform the following actions to provide me an answer to a customer question. Research and to become an expert on topics related to Exchange Online and Microsoft 365. Research email rules and how they are configured. And then answer the following question. I'm currently experiencing an issue when configuring an email rule to send specific emails based on the certain senders to a folder. Specifically, when I generate and run a rule, the emails I am targeting remain in my mailbox. Can you help me troubleshoot why this might be? I can see the direct step by step troubleshooting guide that Copilot defines for me. I can review this information and identify, are these any of the particular troubleshooting steps that might correlate to what the customer has sent? Something else to consider is if the customer had sent me a screenshot, I could have uploaded the screenshot directly in my conversation to provide additional context to this AI assistant so it knows the way the rule is configured and ways that it could then generate new formed and more insightful responses to troubleshoot what is going on. So it's given me all this rich information. It's also even given me some PowerShell code that maybe I could leverage to troubleshoot what's going on in that case. It's also giving me some direct additional data sources that I can review through. I can review all of this, modify it to my needs, send it to my colleague if I'm still not sure, save them a ton of time because then they just have something to reference and review, give me a direct response, and then send it back off to my customer to generate value for them and value for me. So, some fantastic ways to modify your overall behavior by starting with Copilot first. So, the third behavior to navigate you through is leveraging Copilot to be your meeting sidekick. This did take me time as well. Some of the previous habits that I had was directly navigating into my meetings, really trying to multitask all the time, taking copious meeting notes, writing things down by hand, trying to understand what people are saying, and a lot of that getting lost in translation while trying to also have collaborative conversations with those individuals that's in that collaborative meeting. And so, for the sake of our current meeting experience, Copilot being built directly into Microsoft Teams meetings, you don't have to worry about that anymore. In this case, what I've done is I've navigated into a live Teams meeting and I've enabled Copilot functionality. I do normally recommend to start transcription as a part of your meeting at a minimum. If you have at least transcription enabled, you can leverage Copilot during the active meeting while it's actively happening, or leverage Copilot after the meeting is finished to gain all of that rich, insightful, collaborative information at any point in time. This does also require specific, meeting policies and such to be in place. General note, it's up to your organization how they approach meeting policies. This is a slightly contentious topic at times, but for the sake of this example, let's go ahead and navigate through. So you see here, I'm a part of a live meeting, and in this particular meeting, I do have transcription enabled, and I'm fully hands off. I no longer take meeting notes. I have Copilot directly do that for me. I have the transcript open so you can see all the particular spoken text as I am speaking to you. Now, if I go over to Copilot in that live meeting, I can click on Copilot up here in the meeting bar, and I can ask Copilot to do things like recap the meeting or generate meeting notes. Imagine those scenarios where you join the meeting halfway through. No longer are the days where we have to disrupt the flow of the meeting or we just aren't sure what was talked about initially. We can start right at our meeting start time, and then anybody coming into that meeting can recap, understand what's going on without disrupting anything, and then jump into the conversation. This ensures that we save everybody time that's a part of that meeting, and we also ensure that all of the meeting notes and rich information that we want are constantly available to us and aligned to directly what is spoken. This is a habit that you have to constantly work through and reiterate within yourself. Start your transcription if you have that enabled. Leverage Copilot during the live meeting. Ask questions while the meeting is going on, and at the end of the meeting, generate your own personal meeting notes to meet your particular expectations. So, in this case, I'll just recap the meeting so far. It should give us a recap of everything that's been particularly spoken as I've been talking through. There we go. I can also do things like generate meeting notes that will generate the key topics of information that have been discussed, as well as actionable items at the very end with accountable parties, all cited directly from that transcript. I can ask targeted questions. What are the key value benefits that have been discussed in this meeting so far? And as you can see, it's navigating through all of those core points that I just talked to. So we have the ability to stay constantly informed while taking a hands off approach. This allows us to insightfully listen to one another and be truly involved within these collaborative conversations and make our voices heard. A fantastic update to change and habit to modify within your experience. Now, navigating back into the work chat experience here, we all have what we consider the blank page problem, where we just aren't sure how to get started in terms of writing the content or material that we need to generate. You can directly leverage Microsoft Word. You can directly leverage your email, specifically if it's email focused. In this case, I'm just going to start in the business chat experience to have a one pager generated automatically for me. In this case, I'll just start with a very short form prompt. Draft a one page update on the XYZ project's latest progress, including accomplishments, challenges, and next steps. And now we see we have an initial one page output that aligns to those initial expectations. Now, general note, I don't have any particular data in my organization that correlates to XYZ project. So Copilot has done its best to fill in the blanks and reference work data that it believes correlates to that particular ask. This is why it is so important for all of you to read Copilot output and then evaluate and tell it the particular modifications that you require. Now, in this case, let's imagine I've read the entirety of the output, and I always like to think I'm the boss, and Copilot is my intern. Copilot gave me this initial one pager that I get to start with, and now as the boss, I read, evaluate, make my markups, and then give it feedback on what I want it to modify. I'll ask it to include a section on project timelines, aligned to the same timelines we are actively working through with Acme Corporation. I might have additional documents worth of data and timelines that correlate across projects. I can reference that project data on alternate projects I'm working through and then incorporate that within the timeline as well. We then review the updates and information that are included. We now see a project timelines aligned with Acme Corporation's section has been noted with the phase, the timeline, and the alignment to what's happening with that particular customer. As I continue to modify, I continue to have a natural language chat and have Copilot aligned to my expectations until I get to the point where I'm like, hey, this is really good. Let's edit in pages. I'll directly create a page off of that. I can share with my colleagues or my team or my peers, anyone around me, my executive leadership, and I have that direct report now available in a much quicker time frame than starting from scratch. Now, the last habit that we'll talk about is automating routine or repetitive tasks that you see directly within your workload. And this is something that I've realized just recently. I've started to realize that there are key things that I do on a daily or weekly style basis that newer functionalities within Microsoft 365 Copilot could assist me with. And that all boils down to leveraging custom agents within your workload. So let me show all of you an example of what I mean. So, I've mentioned in previous videos that a lot of the content that I generate directly on this YouTube channel is generated with Copilot. So, this is the direct prompt that I've been leveraging for some time in order to generate my titles, my descriptions, thumbnail based information, so on and so forth. And of course, I've modified it over time as well. However, there are some consistencies that exist. And you see, you create a title and description for a video I will be posting. I give it some context about what that video includes. I want engaging and impactful language for the description, 25 trending keywords that I can tag on that video, and finally some, taglines for my thumbnail as well. And I noticed every single time that I was creating a video, I would run this prompt and make some modifications. Now, I started to think about to myself, can I take this prompt and actually generate an agent that I can just talk to and adheres to these particular rules? That way, all I have to do is give it my context and it can generate all of this amazing content for me. So, what I did was I took this prompt and asked Copilot to then generate system instructions that I could copy and paste into an agent that I wanted to create to perform this automated process for me. So, in a new chat conversation, here's the updated prompt. I'm really proud of this one. Take the following prompt and turn it into system instructions, formatted in a bulleted list, that I use as instructions for an AI agent. And I just copied and pasted that initial prompt into this particular chat experience. Copilot then provides me the system instructions that I can leverage and tailor an AI agent with. Let's go ahead and copy those out. We'll click on Create Agent here on the left-hand side. This does directly leverage the Agent Builder experience, and I'll define what I want. So now you see what I've done is I've submitted my prompt, create an agent that assists me with generating content for YouTube videos, and use the following information as your system instructions. All I did was paste those system instructions directly in that natural chat experience. It then asks me, how about YouTube Content Assistant as the naming convention? Yes. And we also have a preview over here on the right hand side. So what I can now do is I can test this particular agent before I make it available. And we've talked about building an agent in previous videos before. If you have not seen that, please go and check it out so you can see how you constantly update your agent instructions as you test. It's an iterative feedback loop process. But now all I have to do is feed my context directly to this agent every single time I want to generate new materials for YouTube videos. So now submitting my initial prompt, create video materials based on the following information. The topic focuses on generating 5 daily habit-changing behaviors by incorporating Microsoft 365 Copilot into someone's daily workload. We then have a title, a description, keywords, and taglines automatically generated for us, adhering to those system instructions. And this is amazing because now, instead of me having to resubmit that particular prompt every single time with all of that information, I have an agent aligned to that information. And all I have to do is feed it context on the particular videos I'm generating and have it generate all the details for me. Now, general note, of course, I never copy and paste output from agents into my videos. I always make human level decisions and modify from there to make it sound more engaging and more real to what I expect all of you to be engaged with. So, those are all of the particular habits that I see being modified within my own work as well as work for my enterprise customers. If you like this content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I very much appreciate all of your support as always. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.